Welcome to the Bucher and Friends podcast, co-starring 10-year NBA center Ryan Hollins.
Couple pump fakes, leans in, shot blocked by Ryan Hollins. Hollins sent that into the third row.
6 rebounds and 8 assists.
Hollins climbs the stairs.
Down the floor. Ryan Hollins! He is the high jumper!
That's what I want to see. Give me some gunpowder and throw the hammer down.
And now, here is your host,
Let's send it over to Rick Bucher.
Rick Bucher.
Welcome to another episode of what is normally Bucher and Hollins, but for the first time ever, it is Bucher, Hollins, and Blackmon, or Bucher, Blackmon, and Hollins. Yes, I know, that does sound like a law firm. Will Blackmon, I'm not going to go through all the places you can find him. NFL Network. Ryan Hollins, you can find him on ESPN. Me, you can find on FS1. You're actually competing. Nah, we're not. Anyway, you can follow Will on Twitter at Will Blackmon, Ryan at the Ryan Hollins, and me at Rick Bucher. Boys, fellas.
What's happening?
How are we, Ryan?
Oh man, we're living good, man. I think me and Will, we've been asking for this for a while, Rick. So we're glad you finally got your ear, man.
Oh wait, you gonna put it on me? Like I've been keeping you two apart or something? Yeah, okay.
Of course, it's on you.
All right. Well, so actually, I was a little scared because you guys have been talking so much mess about each other through me. I thought, I don't know where this could go if we end up having the menage a trois pod. But here we are, and right after the big news from the Los Angeles Lakers, where Magic Johnson abruptly steps down in an impromptu press conference, shakes the foundation of the Lakers. Will, living here in LA, in the LA area, obviously, why don't you start? Because I just wonder from you, living here, and what it's to have an icon like Magic kind of pull what I think is pulling the rug out from under Genie Bus.
What I learned out here is that when it gets too difficult, no one wants to finish the job. Everybody wants the next best thing. However, I was at NFL Network today, and what I heard is apparently Luke wasn't supposed to be fired this morning.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
As well as the GM, but Jeannie was like, cool. Jeannie Buss was like, cool with Luke, but then when it came to the GM, she was like, wait, no. So apparently...
So Magic just wanted to clear the decks.
He's like, if I can't do my job, I don't want to be here. But it just seemed too easy. But he didn't even tell his boss. That was a problem.
So that was the divide. Because everybody couldn't figure out is that he had been given the go-ahead to fire Luke.
Right.
So
and she was cool with that. She's like, okay, do your thing with Luke. But when it came to GM, she was like, no, because that's Kobe's boy.
And the other part of that is that's who Magic has insinuated was kind of working against him behind the scenes.
The backstabber.
Exactly. Is that what you have gotten? If that's what you've heard as well, Ryan?
I can't confirm or deny Pelinka, but there's definitely a huge rift there. And the one thing that in terms of Magic, he can deal with the scrutiny from the fans. He can deal with the frustrations of even players that he's going to have to move on from. But as far as being a president of operations, he couldn't deal with the in-house backstabbing and scrutiny coming from his own clan. Magic he's in an intriguing place where he doesn't need the money, where if this was me or you or any of us playing the position, we would have to write it out and be like, well, this dude doesn't like me, so what? I got to figure it out. Mm-hmm. For Magic, it's about principle. And the principles and the love and the respect got mistaken. And that's where Magic said, you know what, I'm out. I'm not with this. That tore him apart. And it wasn't necessarily or ever the media. And also Magic is guys that own his mistakes. And what's really interesting and what's breaking is that when it comes to tampering, we all point at Magic and say Magic doesn't know what the heck he's doing. Rob Pelinka was the one tampering. He was the one with those violations. Now, Magic does it right on TV so we can see it. And the proper Will, you know what I'm saying? Like the proper blame. And it almost like, Will, am I tripping? Like it almost feels like a locker room situation. Like we see this kind of going on with Antonio Brown and Juju, and things are being uncovered. And Antonio Brown was the guy that was, I'm out. It almost looked like Magic is the guy like, nah, man, I'm out. Like this ain't no family situation no more.
I feel like there's more details that we just don't know about for him to abruptly just walk out and not even tell his boss.
See, that's the problem that I have. No matter how you look at it, you can't talk about how Jeannie's my sister and I'll always love her and we have this relationship. And no matter how you feel, you just did your sister dirty because you didn't even
Hollywood.
You didn't even go tell her that you were doing this, and you have this impromptu press conference, and now she looks silly. Does whatever happened, whatever her reluctance with Pelinka was, I don't know that she deserved that. And honestly, this is the part where I think where it gets kind of tricky, because this ain't the first time Magic has just walked. When he was a coach, he suddenly, this isn't going the way I thought. You know what? I'm out. And out after just, a dozen games or so.
Listen, he's a businessman. He knows how to cut his losses, man.
True. But if you, and it's one thing if you're doing it as a TV talk show host or as a broadcaster or even as a head coach. But when you've been given the keys to the franchise by someone who trusts you as much as Jeannie does, do you just, something happens and you go, nah, I don't like that. I'm gone.
That's what I mean. Something drastic happened recently for him to just be like, yo, listen, I'm done. I'm done with this.
Ryan, you seem to be, it's interesting because you are really, you're as close to defending Magic and what he did as I've heard anybody to this point.
Well, there's a lot that go on behind the scenes. And I think what's bigger than Magic is the way that Jeannie's running the organization. And in a sense, she can't be everybody's friend. And Jeannie's in a situation where she wants to be friends with everybody and she wants to hold on to these Laker legends. What do I mean? She's still holding on to Magic. She's trying to give him the keys. She's still holding on to Kobe Bryant. How? Because Kobe Bryant is represented through Rob Pelinka and now the newest Laker legend, LeBron James. So now Jeannie's in a position where she's literally trying to please everybody, and you can't. And this mom and pop style of organization is really, it's essentially, it's killing the Lakers. You cannot do it. Yeah. And Magic, what was his job to do? Let's just be honest and be frank. He was never going to be the guy punching numbers and running analytics on guys, right? He has 2 or 3 or 4, probably right like 100 different things that he does on the side that you knew he wasn't just going to abandon to be the president.
Right.
And you knew when it came to free agency, you needed a real-time lure, a guy who could at least get you the meeting after you've done the work. And if you want to talk about prepping the Lakers, Magic prepped the Lakers. They were prepped for a star. They just haven't delivered. And Magic has just been running his damn mouth too much. We're not going to act like that's not the truth. So when I look at the situation, I don't fully jump on and blame Magic. I blame this family atmosphere and the expectations of Magic Johnson to be treated like family. And once he tried to make it business, it was like, nah, we're not doing that. And that's essentially what came back to bite them. That's the huge problem in itself.
The tricky part for me is, and it was even on the way out, he said, first of all, whoever gets that other star. And I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute. That's a big, huge question. Like, who's going to run this show and go get that other star? And he said, whoever does, they get that other star, and we're right there. We're going to win championships. And I'm thinking, don't do that. You already did that with Lonzo Ball. Like, if Lonzo, when he was drafted, Magic wasn't saying, he's going to be the next me. I can see his jersey up on the wall. Right now, we'd look at Lonzo Ball and we'd think, you know what? Not a bad player. He's got a chance to be really good.
Right.
But because he's supposed to be the next Lakers icon, we look at what he's done and we're like, well, he's not that. All we're thinking about is what he's not as opposed to what he is. And I think that's set up by Magic and his dad just blowing expectations through the roof. The second part is you're still talking about winning championships. Your team didn't even make the playoffs this year. Like, why set that on the way out the door?
You got nailed out a month ago.
Yeah. Hey, these guys.
But Rick, right? Isn't that the perfect thing to do when you're kind of salty and upset?
No, well, if you want to dagger somebody, it is. But if you're trying to do the right thing on the way out, it's not. And this is, you can't, so who are you doing this to? Ultimately, you're doing this to Jeannie Buss, who's supposed to be your sister, who's supposed to be this person who you love. And ultimately, it's for a franchise that you...
Is that more Jeannie or more Rob, though?
No, Jeannie's the one who's ultimately going to wear it. Rob comes and goes. Rob isn't the Lakers. Jeannie is part of the fabric of this franchise.
But Rick, guys, hasn't Jeannie denied everything? Jeannie has denied and lied straight through her teeth every time she's been asked something.
Yes, but she's done it. She's also done it on behalf of Magic.
And she tweeted heart emojis.
Yeah, I mean, she's done it. If she's done it on Magic's behalf. And I would dare say, yeah, there's probably some of that. I mean, look, she supposedly denied that she looked at LeBron's contract to see whether there was a no trade clause in it or not. I know for a fact she did. But she hasn't, I don't know that she's publicly denied it, but I know that she's, to other people, other reporters who have gone up to her and asked her, has tried to pretend like that didn't happen. And I get why you would do that, because you want to try to stay on the right side of your relationship with Rich and LeBron. But I know it happened. But so here's the thing. Whatever has happened, has Jeannie done enough to Magic for you guys to say, well, I can see why Magic reacted the way he did? I just can't.
It's not about Jeannie. It's about Rob Pelinka backstabbing him and him essentially kind of still being in the position. And Rob's never gotten acknowledged for the stuff that he's done or his blunders. It's always Magic on the Lakers. Because Magic came in as a figurehead, and Magic doesn't mind being a figurehead. But if I'm not going to at least be able to own my mistakes, and over here making mistakes too.
So here's the thing:
why is it just about me?
Right, but so what is it that Rob has done or hasn't done?
Rob was with tampering. And
no. The Paul George thing was Magic being on. Who was it? Jimmy Kimmel.
Right.
Yes, but there are some text messages that Rob Pelinka was fined for. There are found text messages that are proven tampering. He was in it. Here's the deal, Will. In the locker room mentality, it ain't when we lose, oh man, it's his fault. It's his fault. But when we win, you right there along with me trying to take pictures. You right there along with me. That rubbed Magic the wrong way. But that's the reality that a lot of front offices are fractured. Am I wrong?
No, you're right about that. Back to about Jeannie Buss, all this is going on under her roof. Yeah, that's why I still have her highly involved, because it's almost like me being a parent and my two children are going at it. I need to figure out what's going on as opposed to standing back and seeing what's going on. And then to your point about where I can see where Magic can feel that type of way. It's like, hey, when things are going well, you're right there. But when I'm dealing with stuff, when he's interviewing and trying to defend himself, where is Pelinka, right?
I just, when I look at it, placing blame or saying it's Rob's fault, or even if it's Magic's fault,
it's
everybody's fault. But I'm left with there's only one guy who's jumping off the ship.
But why are you separating yourself from me though? Hold on. So my face is on the product, but I don't get to make the calls, because last time I checked, the president, Magic, even when I talked to Jeannie, she said everything is supposed to be going through Magic.
And that was his problem.
Like, hold on, bro.
That was his problem.
Hold on, bro. Everything's not going through me, though.
And that's why he's upset.
That's a problem now. Now he's upset because y'all promised me I'm going to be able to do my thing. But you're not going to blame me when you want to blame me. But when it comes to, hey, Magic is this, Magic is we're not doing that. And you got to respect that. Like either it's my show or it's not. What are we doing here?
He's like, you're not going to stress me out.
Okay.
Magic said, you're not stressing me out.
So let's say that Magic came to a head because he wanted to get rid of Luke and he wanted to get rid of Rob, and she was okay with getting rid of Luke, but she drew the line at Rob. It's not as if Magic and the work that he's done to this point, trading D'Angelo Russell, the deals that he's made, the moves that he's made, the talent that he's moved, would fill Jeanie Buss full of confidence that all of the moves that he wants to make should be executed. And this is the part I don't know. I don't know how that conversation went with Jeanie. I mean, right now, we're taking it on hearsay that Jeanie said, no, you can't fire Rob, right? We don't know how that conversation went down. Right. That's where I'm in this place now where it's like,
born yesterday to know that he couldn't get what he wanted and he didn't have the power that he expected, but he was getting the blame. He was getting the blame, but he didn't have the power. And that's something that never sat well with Magic through his mistakes.
But that comes with the job. If you're the guy in charge, and from the very beginning, everybody thought that Rob Pelinka was just a guy that was supposed to do Magic's bidding.
Right.
And if he wasn't, then that should have been the first thing. But the first thing was, 7-8 games into the season, he's looking to fire Luke. And so,
As he should. He was never his guy. As he should, Rick.
7-8 games into the season?
He was never his guy. He was never his guy, dude. He was never his guy. He should.
Ryan, I feel like we're bending over backwards to absolve Magic of any blame for this deal. And I'm still going to go back to however it shook down, however it went, you doing an impromptu, at the very least, you want to go out, you're unhappy with the way things are, go to Jeanie and say, look, this isn't the deal. This isn't the deal we have. I'm exiting left. How do we do this? Because I don't want to hurt the franchise on the way out.
He never should have been in that position of power. He never should have held that position.
Okay, but look, he accepted the job too.
Huh?
He accepted the job. I mean, to say that it's all Jeannie's fault that she hired Magic in the first place, I don't know that that's... I'm going to give her some of that responsibility, but...
Rick, he accepted the job to be able to actually exercise some power. He didn't accept the job to be second fiddle. He accepted the job to have power. And that's something somewhere along the line that got robbed from him. He didn't accept the job just to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
he accepted the job to have power.
Is the word on the street.
Well, and that's the other part too. Like, he wasn't around.
Those were never the expectations.
That he was not going to be around.
Yes. That was never changed. And then who do those reports even come out from? Rob Pelinka.
Oh, I suppose we could say it was Rob Pelinka. I don't know that we know it was Rob Pelinka. I mean, all of this sounds like...
Well, during one interview, he did say, they said, where's Magic? He said, Magic's not here.
Well,
bro, that was all the way Rob Pelinka.
I mean, what's he supposed to say?
Rick, that was all the way Rob. I don't know how you can see it any other way. That was 1,000% Rob Pelinka.
I'm not trying to absolve. I'm not saying that Rob doesn't have a part in this. I just the difficulty I have is to this is what it sounds like to me. You are justifying what Magic did and the way he exited. And I can't justify that or coincide it with, I care deeply about Jeanie Buss. I care deeply about this franchise. It sounds like somebody who got mad and decided to take their ball and go home.
Rick, there was nothing professional about this deal from day one. And you can't pick and choose when you want to be professional and when you want to be family. And that's why I look back to Jeanie Buss and say she's going to have to make hard decisions.
That's true.
One of the toughest decisions in Laker history was what? Trading Shaquille O'Neal. But guess what? It was for the better of the organization. It was for the better of the franchise. And that hard job got done. That decision got done. Trading Shaq, bro, you know the backlash that came with for Kobe? Saying it wasn't going to work out with? and that decision was made.
It wasn't Jeannie firing her brother?
Yeah.
Shaq is a little harder than firing your brother. Shaq is a little trading.
Wow.
Shaq, Diesel
That says
in
a lot.
his prime. Hey, bruh. The Diesel in his prime?
Yeah.
And then the whole idea was, Magic, I'm going to bring you in, Magic, so that you can run the show.
He was on the back. He was on the back end of the prime.
I don't know. I don't know if he was in his prime. I wouldn't say he was in his prime.
He was still effective.
He went and won a championship with the Heat. Now,
Dwayne Wade and a lot of other guys. The amount that Shaq played, he wasn't a main cog in that Miami championship the way he was in the Lakers championships.
I mean, that's common sense. You get older. But he was the reason that they won. Let's not mistake that. Let's not mistake that for anything else. I'm not going to act like this dude was in the prime of his career, but let's not mistake.
How old was Shaq when he went to Miami?
That was still the Diesel over there, and that was a heck of a trade to make. Okay, and probably the biggest one. So nonetheless, you have to make tough decisions like that because you will go down the tubes trying to play family ball, trying to be this mom and pop shop. And before, I get it. Like we talked about earlier, guys, it was good enough just to have Magic or Kobe on your roster, and then you fill in the blanks and you win a championship. You don't win like that no more. LeBron James ain't good enough. You actually have to go out and do some work.
So to that end, because this has been put out there, and I'm wondering how you guys feel about this, because you're at this and doing Colin Cowherd's show today. He kept saying there's a fork in the road. You can go one of two ways. You can build around LeBron, or you can hand the keys to LeBron, or you can move off of LeBron and just say it was a good try, but this isn't working out. And I don't think there's a fork in the road, but I wonder, just in terms of the idea of trading LeBron James, and I'll say this for you in particular, Ryan, what message does that send to other NBA players if they were to move off of LeBron?
If you move off of LeBron James, it's a huge knock in the sense of players having power. And LeBron James is probably the biggest advocate for players as far as knowing your value, knowing your worth.
In all of
and
sports.
Going out and exercise. Yeah, for real, Will. That's a good point. And exercising your value. So if LeBron James is moved on from, it's a huge knock, which isn't realistic to me. Why? In a sense that if you're the Lakers organization, even as stinky as it's been, you're going to make more money off selling LeBron James jerseys and ticket sales just by him being a part of the organization than if you guys go 0-82. So you can cut your losses there money wise.
Right.
That's not happening. But what happens is the expectations are still there, and it's something you can't screw up. And to me, the fork in the road isn't LeBron James, guys. And I want to know, Will, both of you, how you really feel about this. The fork in the road is, Jeannie, are you going to come in and clean house and get rid of Luke, get rid of Rob, and let somebody come in like a David Griffin and let him do his due diligence and actually get a president or general manager, a guy who can actually is competent to do the job?
Well, let me ask you this before we get to that. I'm curious about you guys in terms of the decisions that you make, and this always fascinates me when it comes to sports in particular, whether it's hiring an agent or it's hiring anybody who works for you, that you're suddenly in this new realm as a professional athlete, and you have these tasks, or you have these people that have to represent you or work for you in ways that is kind of brand new to you as an athlete, right? How did you go about selecting those people? Because Jeannie goes by, I'm going to go by the people I know. I'm going to go by the people that I've had a relationship with previously. And I'm going to trust that, as opposed to just open it up and saying.
So how did I select my agent?
Yeah. How did you get your first agent?
Because he represented my favorite player of all time in Deion Sanders. It was that easy. I said, who'd you represent? He said, Deion Sanders. I was like, perfect. Done deal. And then when that relationship ended, I had to get a new agent, and I was like, "He represent?" He said, "Barry Sanders." I was like, "Perfect." That was easy.
Now, your first one that ended because
He was ill.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it wasn't because he
No, it was
something wrong.
It was because he was ill. Yeah.
What about you, Ryan?
One thing that I was kind of fortunate, my first agent, Tyler Ramazar, that things worked out. He was a good guy
Yeah.
and kind of, told me the truth rather than the stuff that I wanted to hear. But when I speak to the rookies every summer, rookie transition, and, talk to the young NBA players, I tell them to look at a track record. I tell them to go ask for proof of what these people have done. Go actually talk to some of their former clients, find out those stories. So you got to look at track record.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say that because Magic had no track record other than being Magic Johnson.
Right.
Rob Pelinka had no track record. So someone that you hire, you got to go get a safe bet. And, I don't know if you guys have heard, but people are screaming for, Jerry West.
Right.
Jerry West is nothing but a consultant now. You need somebody to step in and do the darn work. So you need somebody with a track record, with a proven track record, who can actually do the work.
I agree that you need somebody who can do the work, but Jerry West at least knows what it takes to be a GM.
Right.
And if you obviously you have to get somebody who's going.
He doesn't want to do it. That's what I'm trying to say is he's nothing more than a consultant. At his age, he barely shows up with the Clippers. That's Lawrence Frank doing the work.
Right.
People don't understand that. They see the name and they fall in love with it, but it's not him.
But here's the other part that I believe for Jerry, and again, it depends. Like you can go out and get somebody who is going to is in the grind and is going to make the calls and is going to scout and is going to do all the things that need to be done. But who sits down at a table with LeBron James and says, "This is the plan, and I need you to buy in"? Who has the gravitas and the presence and the resume for LeBron to sit down and listen?
Phil Jackson.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Nah, bruh.
That relationship is way broken. But that's where, for me, you're right. Jerry he's 80 something.
Man, just give the keys to LeBron, okay?
So okay, I'll give you this. This is what you named just right now, Rick. You named the scenario that Magic was supposed to be in. Magic was supposed to just be the closer.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
What Magic was supposed to be, was the closer. Rob, you do the work, I close the deal. He couldn't shut his darn mouth.
And now they want Magic to do the work.
Well, here's the other part, though, too. Look, if Magic's not around, how does he know what Rob is or isn't doing?
Oh, he knows, bro. He caught wind, and he didn't know about it before, but it caught wind. And it broke the dude. Magic's a good guy.
He caught wind. He caught wind from Rich Paul? He caught wind from who?
I'm not going to say who or where, but I'm saying he caught wind of the stuff that Rob Pelinka was out there doing behind his back. And he did not know. He was pretty oblivious to it before. And he caught wind of it. So it wasn't just Magic.
I know. Why you? This is
Bucher and Friends, man.
Exactly. This is Bucher and Friends. It's not like Bucher and Associates. It's not Bucher and Captives. It's not.
Some things just aren't.
Thank you.
Some things just aren't my place, fellas. You guys know that. I know my place. Guys. Some things aren't my place, and I respect that.
So let me ask you this: is this what you have heard or been told firsthand? Or is this what you've heard from around the way?
This is pretty much fact. Magic didn't know the entire time what was going on, and he caught wind. And possibly, like the point you brought out is that he hasn't been around. So he found out the real story, what's going on with Rob and what Rob is essentially been doing behind the scenes. And Magic is not cool with that.
But Rob is known for stealing clients.
Well, but that's, every agent.
Nah, listen.
Every agent
is known. I know every agent does, but him, bro. Drew Rosenhaus, they're known. I remember at the Senior Bowl.
Some guys are better at it than others.
Yeah, some are better than others. I remember going to the Senior Bowl, and Drew Rosenhaus showed up. And pretty much every agent held their client tight. It was watch out for this dude, okay?
But you know how many times where I go, I'm going to the locker room, and there's agents waiting outside the locker rooms, right? and you can see the various agents keeping eye on
don't you say a
the
word,
other
my guy.
the other agents. Yeah, I mean, but my point being that if Rob, and I'm sure Rob did it, every agent in one fashion or another has done it. He's
you
not
play
the only
well
one.
today, man. You play well today.
Exactly.
Tell your mama say hi.
Exactly. So, all right.
No, man. There's some people who work. Let's not act like that's part of the game, bro. There's integrity. There's people with integrity, and there's people without it. So that's a factor. And we heard none but snakish activities out of Rob Pelinka. He ain't got a good name, bro.
You are taking Pelinka down.
He ain't got a good name, bro. Stop.
I know, but
don't be scared of him.
Look,
he doesn't have a good name, so I'm not going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Well,
so if I hear that he's done some snake stuff behind Magic Johnson's back, who's been the scapegoat so far, I'm gonna dare to agree with it, and I'm gonna let you know that there are feelings there. There are feelings of what that man has done.
He actually did double cross a blind man.
It's crazy.
Gordon Gunn, owner of the Cavs, with Carlos Boozer. To this day, Jim Paxson, who was the GM at the time, will say, we had an agreement when he opted, because Boozer opted out of his deal. They let him. Actually, the team had the option, and they opted him out, and it was understood that they were going to let him opt out and that he was going to re-sign with them. And then he up and went to the Utah Jazz, and they got nothing out of it. And it's a deal where you can't technically have the agreement, but it was the understanding. You know how this business works.
Yep.
Both of you do. And basically double-crossed him on that. And Rob, that's at that time, Arn Tellum's agency, that's when they parted ways with Pelinka, because that was going to be a smear against the entire agency if they allowed that to stand.
Smear against the Lakers right now. I'm telling you, within these next few weeks,
you sound really pro Pelinka, Rick.
No, don't mistake me for being pro Pelinka as much as I look at how agents operate. I don't think that he's unique, and where I stop is absolving Magic of blame, and it's not even that he left, because I think in some ways he did them a favor. He wasn't up to the job, and we knew that going in, and that was proved that he wasn't up to the job. So getting out and not delaying the inevitable, I'm fine with. The hypocrisy of saying I care about the Lakers, I care about Jeannie, and this is how I'm going to exit. He could have left. He could have left for the reasons that he left. It could have all been genuine and understood, and he could have done it in a way that didn't hurt the Lakers and didn't hurt Jeannie as much as it did. Or
I don't think it hurts.
Or jump ship.
It hurts the Lakers like that.
What?
I personally don't think it hurts the Lakers like that.
They suddenly don't have a team president, and they're in disarray, and we're starting the off season.
But they still have LeBron.
I think it's the perfect wake up call, because ultimately, guys, forgive me if I'm wrong, and please correct me. The Lakers have a lot of cap space. They still have LeBron, as Will just stated, and they're literally a star away. So.
They're more. Come on now.
But the main thing is they're desperate right now, so they're gonna do something outlandish again.
Right. And who's gonna do it? Like, what's the process? Like, if you want to find the person that is going to make this better, that is the person not only to be the GM and build this thing from right now, but
like, we had great times in the '80s. Like I don't want to see Byron Scott. I don't want to see Kurt. I don't want to see AC Green. I don't want to see Vlade.
Okay, but that's fine. But what if you see David Griffin? That's basically David Griffin and Ty Lue walked through the door. Aren't you just rebuilding the Cleveland Cavaliers? And do you think that that's going to win you a championship in the Western Conference?
There's an element of David Griffin of professionalism who knew how to deal with LeBron James, because let's not deny you need to have a relationship with the star.
That's not my question. You bring David. Of course, David Griffin's going to be better. He knows how to handle LeBron. But is that going to get you where you want to go?
I'm trying to answer your question. If you let me talk, Bucher.
Wow.
essentially, yes, because the notion was, unfortunately, by certain people, was that David Griffin didn't do anything and LeBron James just signed who he wanted. And I've had intense talks with David Griffin, and there could not be any more of a slap in the face than to say that. To say that he did not do the work and that it was LeBron James that was hiring and firing and signing people. That is the biggest slap that you could give to Griff.
Yeah, but
that wasn't true.
And it's not true. It took some real cap gymnastics and manipulation to get the players that Griff wanted to get to put around LeBron, that ultimately wound up in them winning a championship. I'm not going to take that away from him. But getting guys that fit around LeBron James in his prime is not the same as trying to resurrect the Los Angeles Lakers with this LeBron James in the Western Conference and trying to win a championship before Father Time grabs LeBron James by the back of the neck.
There's no rebuilding. You got to get guys now. That's kind of like a thing now in the league. Like, you know, if they did trade LeBron, like, you're gonna rebuild, and then what? You're not gonna do anything at all. And I think this day and age, you got to play the game. You got to win now. Go get guys now. Get stars now. That's the trend. That's what's going on. That's how you're gonna win. Otherwise, you're gonna suffer.
Understood. But you're gonna suffer later.
Then that's what it is. Get that banner.
Because you're gonna go get all these vets.
Get that banner now.
Ryan,
you buy yourself 4 years.
Okay, but here's the thing. What if you don't get the banner? What if you don't get? What if you do all this and you don't get the banner?
Here's where you're messing up, Rick. Here's where you're messing up. You're really, really discrediting LeBron James. You are really forgetting that this dude flirted with averaging a triple-double.
Oh, don't give me statistics.
You're really just saying that this guy can't play at a high level. And right now, even if you have 75% of LeBron James with another star, 2 more stars, and a decent team, and beyond this, you're acting like the Lakers don't have talented players. They have talented players, and they have a screwed-up culture.
All right, hold on.
We've all been on teams with talented players, but you underachieve because your culture sucks. And that's what the Lakers have. So they're just not a bare cupboard, bro. That's what you're making it sound like right now, Rick. It's fixable.
When did Will become your best friend?
Always.
There's a lot of moments where I'll be honest, I'm not fond of Will. I think he's an amazing guy. I'm really not fond of him, but I'm with him when he's right.
See, that's why we're friends, because we're honest.
Here's the heart of it. Even LeBron at his best this year, with this Lakers team, they were 20-14. LeBron James last year with a Cleveland team perfectly built for him got swept in the finals by the Golden State Warriors. And, I mean, let's face it, what he had to go through in the East, we can kind of look at that and say...
Wait, who did he get swept by? Don't throw out these points like they're bad points. Got swept by who?
The Golden State Warriors.
The greatest team of all time. Thank you.
Oh, my God. Here we go.
Am I lying?
Right. Let's say they're the greatest team of all time. What is going to change between now and in the next 2 years that convinces you that, you know what, if you just get one more star, the Lakers are going to win a championship?
Hey, Will, this is how you catch him on his nonsense.
Why? I ask a question and then he addresses you. Like,
no.
You're passive. You're passive aggression right now.
Is going to help, first of all.
No doubt.
Because I like when the proof is. Hey, Will, didn't my man just break the internet probably a couple days ago saying that it's a done deal that Kevin Durant is gone?
Yeah. I'll answer for Will.
That would weaken the Golden State Warriors. So as you're quick to just rule out the Lakers, and I'm not saying they're going to be great because they got their work cut out or that it's just impossible.
They don't even have somebody who can run the team right now.
LeBron.
Oh, gosh.
But let me ask you this.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying you don't even believe in the Warriors like that. So don't make it sound like everything's just fine.
No. But I don't have to believe in the Warriors. I can believe in the Houston Rockets. I can believe in like the 4 other teams in the Western Conference who are better than the Lakers right now.
Chris Paul
Actually,
has
there's at least 8 teams that are better than the Lakers right now.
You know what those other teams don't have is LeBron James. And you cannot tell me that means nothing, because that's how you're talking.
It doesn't. I'll say this, and I believe this wholeheartedly. It doesn't mean what it doesn't mean what it used to mean.
You're disrespectful, bro.
That's not disrespectful. He's 34 going on 35. He missed 17 games with a groin injury. That's the most he's missed with an injury. That the idea that LeBron is going to be better next year. I mean, I know people are saying, "Hey, it's not as long a season. He's going to be able to recover. He's going to rest." There were plenty of instances this year, even when he was healthy, that he wasn't LeBron. He didn't dominate like LeBron did in the past. That's just a fact.
30 points
in
a triple-double. The 30 points in a triple-double isn't dominating, and he had his team third or fourth in the Western Conference.
You know, I never hear you talk about Russ Westbrook like this, and Russ Westbrook averages a triple-double all year long and has 2 years running.
Well, you clearly don't listen to my takes or follow my Instagram. We know that you're still catching up on that end.
Oh, now he's gonna bust on my social media game.
No, you're just from a different. You're from a generation.
Oh my goodness! Now he's gonna become an ageist.
No,
what other shots you want to take at me?
Hold on, you guys fight.
God,
Will,
dang.
I need some.
Will, this guy's from a generation that reads and writes. I somewhat admire that, but social media is
excuse me for reading and writing.
You said he's still reading the newspaper.
I'm gonna have to apologize.
You definitely get the newspaper to your house every morning.
I definitely do not. I do subscribe online. We get the Sunday paper. Tradition. You got to have some tradition.
Oh,
all right.
God.
We've done enough. We've got this covered. All right. If this is what it's going to be like every time, man, I don't know. This might be the first and last.
No way.
Three-man. Yikes.
You gotta have the 3-man. This might have to be a reoccurring thing.
Well, I'm certainly going to be down in LA enough that actually we should do it live. The three of us together. Oh, yeah.
Are you going to change the name from Bucher and Friends to Bucher and Others?
It's Bucher and Combatants, Bucher and Enemies, Bucher and Assailants. I don't know. We'll work on that. All
Enemies.
Right. Ryan, thank you very much. We have a Clippers game to go to. You do not, because you are on the East Coast. But thanks for making the technological trip across the country to be with us. Again, for all of you listening, thank you for giving us the time. Please, wherever you get your podcasts, rate and review the podcast, iTunes, wherever it is. And if you want us to do something for you, screenshot the review and send it to @BucherFriends. In our next podcast, I'm guessing that it's just going to be Ryan and myself. And I think it's time that you and I go through our selections when it comes to MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Coach of the Year. I have a vote in all of those awards, and we will reveal them here, and I will discuss them with Ryan. And I'm sure that we'll have plenty of disagreement on those as well, except for one. I know that we're in alignment on one. All right, that does it for this edition of Bucher, Blackmon, and Hollins. As always, thanks for listening.